Okay, but those who have lost people lives because they couldn't access cash to get good health care will tell you their pain.
Now let's look at the intention that we were told concerning this redesign of Naira.
Yeah.
It's part of to curb vote buying. Now we just presidential election that was just and you went out.
Yeah.
Did you see the impacts of the new Naira design and this cashless
Vote
policy?
buying?
Yes, in vote buying. And can we link it to the forthcoming election? That is why it's still foot dragging.
Well, for me, I would say that yes, probably we do not see openly people buying votes, okay, by the means of giving cash. But let me tell you that some of these political parties actually bought votes. Somebody showed me a slip of paper that was given to him for him to fill, put his account number, put his name, okay, and vote for a particular party. That after voting, well, there will be a way that you will tell them that you have done what they wanted, and then you'll be credited
Online.
You'll be credited. And there were also people. Benga, are you saying that there was no cash being distributed? Let me tell you, a couple of people were arrested. There was a story of a man who was going around with 34 million naira. And the 34 million naira was not in old 500 naira note, was not in old 1000 naira note, was not even in 200 naira note. It was in 1000 mint note. New note, yes. And then the money was not in the wrap of commercial banks. So it simply means that the money probably came from CBN like that, or the money came from CBN into a bank, and then the bank manager or whoever was able to push the money to the politician who needed it.
He was arrested.
He was arrested.
Or apprehended. And afterwards, the news of what happened, we are not aware again.
Of course.
We are not in the
Of
know
course.
again.
So there are a lot of insinuation that this last presidential election, the money went round. Money went round. Just that it was done discreetly.
All right, let's keep hope alive and see what happens before the end of the day. The phone lines are open. You can call 0909 999 7937, 0909 999 7937, or 0704 7937, 0704 7937. Of course, you can also join our Facebook Live at Vintage 93.7 FM Ipadon, or Twitter at Vintage 937 _ FM. You can also engage us on our Instagram handle at Vintage 93.7 FM. The program is Black Coffee. We'll be right back.
Oluyole City, we are here. Ibadan. Check us out on 93.7 FM. Vintage.
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 Vintage. Vintage.
Vintage.
We are 93.7 FM.
The program is the Black Coffee on Vintage 93.7 FM. Another news here at the Nation newspaper is INEC reset of Vivas a must for governorship poll. That's on coming this Saturday. Beavers, the other parties that lost during the presidential election, Labour Party and PDP, have been saying that they want to be in the know of how the Beavers, the data on the Beavers, and you know that this Beavers resetting has to take place for governorship election that is coming from INEC, and the reconfiguration takes almost 5 days or thereabouts, and the election is coming this Saturday. Now the question is, are we looking at rescheduling of this coming election?
The coming election will not be rescheduled, Benga. The election would hold. But you know that this political party seems to be acting a bit smarter than the commission, trying to truncate the whole process. They know that the election will not be postponed, but it's just a way of creating chaos. INEC cannot use the beavers without reconfiguration. Yeah. So the data for the last elections have to be taken out. But you cannot. The system here, if it is good enough, there's nothing bad if we have the team of IT tech people from all these political parties and then INEC working together to take data, okay, from the beavers and store somewhere, and then you can, reconfigure this beavers, and then we can use for the election. So whether we like it or not, this will happen. INEC had gone to court to say that they have to reconfigure it because of the elections coming on Saturday, and then the parties are saying that no, you cannot reconfigure it because we need
to see the data.
Yes, see the data and all that. So I think it's just a back and forth thing, just like the Naira notes. And then if you also notice in the front page of the Nation newspaper, there's a place where even APC is supporting the march that other political parties had, March for Democracy, by saying that they were rigged out and all that. Now, it simply means that these people are just making a mockery of us, the citizens. The APC had come out to say that I know that the APC chairman, Alhaji Adamu, said that for the PDP to be dancing around the city of Abuja is shameful and embarrassing. Okay, this same APC is now coming out to say that it is good to march for democracy. So it's for me, it's as good as they are trying to fool us. The beavers, as we were saying, will work on Saturday. There's no two-way about it. But I hope that we'll find a way out of all these jargons and nonsense very, very soon, because it seems to be that they are just trying to give us like a cobweb for us to or not.
Akeem, do you think that is what is playing out? That the most is on the masses now. Don't let us forget that there is a court case already. There is a PDP in court and on the streets. And Atiku said in the news yesterday that it's not going to stop anytime soon. That is going to be a continuum. Now, having all these things, election is coming up on Saturday. Governorship election coming up Saturday. Beavers needs to be reconfigured, and they want to also see the data to know how the election take place. All these things. So what can you make?
I think basically the first thing for me is that any group of people or persons have the right to freedom of association, to freedom of movement, have the right to express their opinions, have the right to ventilate their grievances legitimately, legally and peacefully, and they also should be aware that there are limitations to their rights. The right to movement, any right, is not absolute. It's a relative right that you should not impede on another person's right. And so the people who want to be protesting every day, I hope that when they start those protests, they bring their children to lead the forefront, and they call their children from US and Canada and Dubai, where their children live, to join, because we have to, during the campaign we saw most of these politicians. We saw Sheyi Tinubu now. Yes. We saw people who know Atiku's son, saw him in Ibadan here. So when they are doing the protests, his children should be in front too, particularly when they go beyond INEC headquarters. So they have a fundamental right to that. But then they should not use this medium or opportunity as an attempt to truncate the fragile peace that we are enjoying. That is it for me. On the issue of the reconfiguration of the beavers, even though I'm not a tech person, but I know from basic knowledge that INEC ab initio, I see INEC as a forward-looking and progressive agency of government, commission, and that I know that they will have seen, when you are planning, there are times when you say, let's just look for where the faults can come from. Let's just simulate, even when they don't happen, let's just simulate faults. That, okay, if it happens, what do we do here? And I'm sure INEC will have thought of this situation. And don't forget, they have a legal department that has Senior Advocacy of Nigeria in there, who will have thought that if this happens, that between the time we are having the presidential election and there are litigations, and we need to reconfigure the beavers. And some people say should go to court, so we should not reconfigure. Don't forget, if they reconfigure, they need to move the information on the present beavers, each unit, to a particular location. Now that information or data is what the contestants or the candidates need to prove their case in court. If they go ahead and reconfigure without their knowledge or at the approval of the court, it may be seen that they deliberately tamper with the things that they will need. So the INEC now, I don't forget, INEC went to court on this. Am I right?
Yeah.
INEC went to court, initiated the court case, so that in reconfiguring the beavers, they will be standing on a legal framework. They will have a legal justification that they are doing this with the approval of the court. So anybody who doesn't want them to reconfigure now has to come to court and prove to the court why they should not reconfigure, and suggest to the court, maybe let them have the election not on March 11, or maybe it should not be on March, the day after my birthday. I'm telling me about my birthday. My birthday is next Friday, so don't tell me you don't know. Big cake, I like. Okay. Do you get what I'm saying? So maybe they now want to shift another day for the election. Do you get? But then, for me as a person, there are processes. Let's adhere to these timelines. In Osun, we know what happened after the election. As early as Monday of the following after election, the APC was in INEC and got the authenticated report. So anybody needs evidence, knowing that evidence is what is going to use on these beavers.
Yeah, INEC is even saying that the election, he said Independent National Economic Development voter accreditation system used for February 25 is still intact. With that, let's go on this commercial break. We'll be right back.
He came with a humble heart ready to serve. He said he had opinion and a will to lead a people-oriented government. He said it wasn't about the love or lust of office, but rather about selfless service to the people. 4 years down the line, he has justified the confidence reposed in him. Prompt payment of workers' salaries, befitting youth employment and empowerment, construction of roads across the state, quality education for all irrespective of the class or status of the people, respect and care for our traditional rulers, light up for your project, improved healthcare services across the state. Do you know that his salaries and allowances since he assumed office are also being used to pay pensioners in Oyo State? Sheyi has performed creditably well. Let's give him another 4 years to further transform the Oyo State. Sheyi Makinde is the man. PDP is the party. Umbrella is our logo. PDP, power to the people.
For your non-stop entertainment, quality programming, unbiased news reportage.
Hello, welcome to the news on Vintage 93.7 FM, and these are the top stories.
Stay connected with Vintage 93.7.
Welcome back. The program is still Black Coffee on Vintage 93.7 FM. 0909 999 7937. 0909 999 7937. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm Ayodele. I'm calling from Malakia.
Yeah, please make your point, Ayodele.
Yeah, I think under law, you don't tamper with evidence. I think I agree with parties to, inspect the diverse machine before reconfiguring it. When you take a wrong step, you don't compound it with more wrong steps. And that is one of the reasons why we keep having difficulty in conducting free and fair elections in Nigeria. We are having fundamental problems. So if INEC wants to live to its buildings as in the expectation of free and fair elections, the Commission will have allowed the aggrieved parties to inspect the beavers machines first before reconfiguring it for the gubernatorial elections. Good morning.
All right, thank you for making your point. Now, this day, Nigeria has court rules today on Obi INEX Beaver case. Decides on Tinubu's demand to inspect materials to APC. Okay, we have a court ruling today. So, what are we expecting?
We have another call.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where are you coming
Hello,
from?
good morning.
Good morning. Your name?
Balkis Onodio.
All right, thank you. Please make your point.
Okay, why? I don't understand. Can you hear me, please?
Yes. Please speak up. We can hear you clearly.
Okay. What I'm trying to say in essence is that INEC had a whole year to prepare. So why did they not prepare very well? Put substantial measures on the ground to make sure that the beavers are actually ready to be used. And we have used presidential elections. So if they want to make these corrections right now, going to ascertain the fear and credibility they promised us. You understand? That means there might have been some mistakes during the presidential election. Then let's not forget what happened in Osun State, that some votes bypassed beavers and they were recorded at the end. How did they get to their portal? So these are some of the issues that Nigerians are raising concern of. In whichever way, they should make sure they improve on this machine before 11th March so that at least people can know that, okay, what they promised us, particularly real-time transmission are carried out on that day. That's my contribution.
All right, thank you very much for contributing. Thank you. Akeem, court rules today on Obi INEC Beavers case. It appears that these beavers has a lot of issue and it's new, relatively new. Do you think that he has done more harm than good?
No. I disagree. Some people lack a knowledge of history. Not that they lack a knowledge of history, they are deliberately, they become, their sense of judgment is selective and they decide to forget things they want to forget. I was not a small boy in 1999. I know the election how it went. I know 2003 how it went. I know 2003 was a fight cry from 1999. I know 2007 was worse because 2007 we had a president who openly said on live TV that, oh, this election was not fair and fair. Then we had we had Jonathan who came and did the Uwais report. Then from 2011, from 2015, 2019, we had Modiko free and fair election. They were still questionable because we used the card reader. We use the card reader, and you realize that in this 2023 election and 2019 election, despite the fact that some people want to actually make this election look as if it's the worst in the history of election, it is not. Except they are too young enough to appraise all these elections. But you don't have to be alive to appraise the election. I was not alive I was a small boy in 1983, but everything about 1983 I know because I decided to read about them. So the people who feel that who want to set the narrative that this election we are talking about is the worst in our annals of history, they should go to the history books, not that we just bring out a statement. So for me, this is not the worst election. It may not be the best, but it's better than what we have had in previous years. In 2011, 2007, where they were saying 6 million votes, 7 million voters, in a day there was rainfall throughout the day. So you can see this election is actually a reflection of the will of Nigerians. How? Is it perfect? No. No election anywhere in the world is perfect. Will the judiciary come to place and enforce its independence? Yes. Even in the Biden election and President Trump, we saw what President Trump attempted to do. We saw how he tried to suppress votes, primarily from the blue areas, and how the courts insisted that was not the way to go about it. And the judiciary intervened timeously, and it was resolved. So what I'm saying is that what we can only say in election is bad when you are able to go to court to prove substantial non-compliance with the law. You not say because you sat down in your village somewhere, I don't want to mention name, then you think you can speak for 774 local government and 170,000 polling units. Nobody can have such powers. But if the parties who contested in this election, who have the machinery and the structures to bring together, collect this information, now present to a court. The starting point is the appeal court. Go to the appeal court, present your case. If you win there, you win. If you lose, you go to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court rules, we move on. But nobody should put the nation on fire because they have a selective and a flawed history of elections in Nigeria. In my estimation, so when you talk about the beavers, I've not seen any invention in Nigeria or introduction of technology that's had the impact beavers has had. It may have its issues, it may have its low, but I refer to what the Professor Ijalaye, the Anekek in Ogun State, who said beavers is a game changer. The politicians know it's a game changer. They have not been able to be rising the result. When they are moving from one location to the city center, they change the result 4 times on the way to accommodate whatever they are bringing. We have the history in Oyo State here, we have in other places, but that's not possible. What we should have now is that for this coming election, the parties should insist that the results should be uploaded on the previous portal, IMF portal, according to what INEC promised us.
I was about going there. Abimbola, IREV is one of the things that Nigerians are still speaking of because of the expectation that INEC do not meet on that uploading of election
Real-time
results.
uploading.
Now, do you think they are misinformed or there was no adequate information to the electorate on the uploading of the data?
No. What
IREV?
INEC said was that there will be real-time uploading. Is on the electoral law. Okay, and then that was why you see the likes of Senator Dino Melaye and co, making a lot of noise at the collation center in Abuja. So it is there that INEC would upload real time. But don't also forget that sometimes we do not have information of what is happening on the other side. It's just like in a workspace when you are blaming management for everything. You don't know what management is actually facing on the other side, even to make things work for you, even to pay salaries and all that. So it could be that perhaps something happened that INEC is not ready.
See, for me,
because they said they have over 200 cyber attacks blocked during presidential.
This is the thing for me. INEC did not attack its own server. INEC did not attack, would not have asked
his own people, IT people.
Some unscrupulous elements
from outside.
Some of them laying claim now to be holier than the Pope. Now, by saying we're rigged out, we're cheated out, were people who brought in hackers to attempt those 200 attempts, right?
Yes.
That's one. Now, on one hand, you expect INEC to upload the results on the IREV. On the other hand, you expect them to upload it on the server. And this attack is coming under a 10th attacks.
Yeah.
And you expect INEC not to look into these books. That what can remedy this situation. Don't forget, many people have not seen a copy of the letter Act 2022. Many people have not read the soft copy. Many people don't have the hard copy. But they go on Twitter and Instagram. I even read that Twitter. I'll round up. They will just go on that Twitter and they'll be putting out misinformation. That is a function of lack of knowledge. Benga, don't forget, the worst form of ignorance is worst form of lack of knowledge is not ignorance, it's illusion of knowledge. Somebody that is ignorant, you know he's ignorant. But somebody that has illusion and he has knowledge, this one's an ignorant person. Unfortunately, many of the people who have been shouting after this presidential election fall within this category of who have illusion of knowledge, who think they know what they don't know. The Electoral Act is very clear. I had a professor of law on Point Blank 2 weeks ago. He said INEC is not under any obligation to upload the results in real time, or just as they promised, right? Yeah. Just as they promised, and that they have other means of transmission. Go and read this thing. Even the Bible says, seek knowledge, so that seek information, so you can have knowledge.
We have National Registration Agency.
So if no one doesn't do their work, then I will revel in ignorance and be talking
now they've
ignorantly.
come out to say exactly what they want to do. Nobody forced INEC to say that they are going to.
You don't get the position being
now Nigerians could not get the information and they are asking for reads that this was what you promised.
They should read the extant laws. The extant laws that INEC shall publish the information or transmit the results electronically or any other means available to the commission, right? That is there.
I think even INEC is done with uploading the.
Do you understand?
After many.
And anybody who have issues, Bimbo, anybody who have issues with the uploaded still has the opportunity to exercise their fundamental human rights to approach the court.
But by the way, it's even more interesting now. The PDP and the Labour Party and maybe other political parties are saying that they are challenging the victory of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But it's more interesting now that even Asiwaju is now saying that
it's cause appealing.
Yes. That even
he wants
to look at the materials
that
and probably what you guys said you got was not even in returns. Do you understand? So it's now you want to be. It's like saying that nobody has monopoly of being bad.
Yeah,
you can all be bad.
Okay, let's see what happened. But before we go on the show, I saw this story that interests me. Governors a last-minute push and woo voters with incentives.
Interesting.
You know,
it's more interesting for me in Lagos.
Exactly, in Lagos.
that would arrest you for. I'm not encouraging anyone to break the laws, traffic laws, and then now
impound your vehicle.
Now the governor is releasing vehicles
free of charge.
It sounds very interesting to me, and I think that. Because our leaders wants to win elections by all means, does not mean we should bend and
I would like to put this question to Akeem. At least this is a generation.
Have you violated traffic laws in Lagos?
Who is the uncle? Who is the uncle? Face me now. Who is that uncle? I think somebody is calling us. We're out of time. We're out of time. And I've been coughing.
I don't know why I've been coughing on this show. I don't know why I've been coughing. Your point on this.
So what point?
Now we have governors wooing voters with incentives and Lagos now. They have seized vehicles.
Have you contested any election before? Have you contested an election before?
Probably in school.
Have you contested an election before?
No. But
have you been close to a person who contested and lost?
Of course, I've seen. No, but we have to treat this.
Because we are treating it now.
No. The impounding of vehicles was to uphold a law.
Which newspaper is that?
That is
Daily Trust. I didn't read it. Read the story out. But don't forget we have 30 seconds.
This is okay, the long and short of the story.
Because I didn't read the story.
The long and short of the story
is calling you already.
Sanwo-Olu reserves impounding, releases
impounding, is calling you already.
Impounding vehicles. Now we have election coming up and we have all this.
I'm sure that was a misrepresentation. Maybe that's not what happened. Maybe that's not what happened. You are sure that's what happened? Then I think we should call the CPS. I think he's Bimbo's friend.
He's my friend.
Governor Sanwo-Olu's CPS is Bimbo's friend. So you should call him and let him explain. I don't work for the government.
If you have your car impounded,
I work for Vintage.
If you have your car impounded in Lagos, just go and pick it up now. It's now for free.
It makes me actually remember when Oseni Rufai's vehicle was picked.
I'll call the governor. I'll call the governor.
Perhaps if he had done it now, probably nothing.
But what of the cars that have been sold? Some cars were actually auctioned.
Yes.
You see, and so for me, I think if that happened, I think I would describe that as sincerely and frankly a desperate attempt by Governor Sanwo-Olu to win the re-election. But then if you have contested before, you know that many politicians do more than this in trying to win elections.
Okay, we still have a few days to the governorship elections. So
by the way, also in Oyo State, we have the governor, so that we don't leave our state. We have the governor also wooing religious bodies, having meetings with them. All the religious bodies,
the other people
traditional,
the other contestants are also winning them. Everybody is winning everybody. One day you see Labour Party endorses this person.
Yes,
the other day you see Labour Party
there was a particular state.
One day in this other state you see Baales or Mogajis endorse this person. Then the following person, some Baale and Mogaji will endorse another person. So this endorsements era. And but there's no cash to back it up. Or is there cash?
Okay.
Maybe transfer.
We look at that. All right. Thank you very much for joining us. Gentlemen, I've been speaking with Akeem Kareem and Abimbola in the studio this morning on Black Coffee, Vintage 93.7 FM. This is where we'll be drawing the curtains. My name is Oluwagbemiga Olabisi, and the sportsman is in here. Ayigba Jeje. Lánàá.
Kí ló dé tí ohun Kareem ó ṣe le koko báyìí.
Bóyá wọ́n gba mọ́tò wọn bí.
Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀?
Bóyá wọ́n lọ gba mọ́tò wọn lẹ́kọ̀ọ́.
Gbogbo wa di kíní yìí kan.
Ọ̀gá ò rí cash ni. All right, thank you very much for joining us on the show this morning. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Stop entertainment. Quality programming. Unbiased news